Hi, my name is Dustin Helms, and I'm a consultant with the Franchise Consulting Company. People ask me all the time what we do, and what we do, quite simply, is we help people buy franchises. This is something that comes from a lot of experience that I have, both building business independently as well as owning franchises myself. So I know what it takes to be a business owner, and I know how to make for sure that we're finding the right business for the right person. So one of the questions that people ask me all the time is, well, Dustin, which franchises do you own? And as much as I love to talk about the businesses that I own, whenever I'm working with my clients, it's something that I don't like to talk about because I don't want someone to buy a business because they think it's right for them because it was right for me. The most important part of this entire process is to find the right business to match with the right person, right? Because if you've got a great business over here and a great entrepreneur over here, but the two don't match, it doesn't work. So the most important thing is really you, not me. Now, I have a variety of different types of franchises, both in the B2B space as well as brick and mortar, more like simple retail type businesses. So I do take my own advice from time to time. But like I said, the most important thing is not me, it's you. What are your goals and how can we help you accomplish those goals? Another question that I get asked all the time is, what's the most profitable franchise? And, of course, it's only natural to think that, if you think about 6,000 franchises, surely one of them has to be the most profitable, more profitable than all the other ones, right? Well, not really, because the business that's going to be the most profitable is the business that's the best match for that entrepreneur, right? It also depends on a lot of other factors too. How much money are you going to want to invest, right? As I travel around the country, I stay in Hilton hotels all the time. A Hilton makes a lot of money, but it's a significant investment, right? Other businesses that work from home, if that's in your budget, then, you're not going to make the kind of money that you would make at a Hilton, but you can make a good return on your investment, right? And so for those reasons, that's why it's important to start with what your goals are, as well as what your investment range is. And that way you can find a business that's going to be the most profitable for you, because that's what really matters more than anything. It's not what this person's doing and that person's doing. What matters most is what can you do and how can you do it the most efficiently. What factors should prospective franchisees consider when evaluating franchise opportunities? Well, that's a great question. So things to consider. First of all, where do you want to be in 5 years? Is it money? Is it lifestyle? Is this a full-time, venture, or is this a part-time venture? Is this something that you're going to do, while you're still working your job, or is this going to be something that's going to be more absentee, right? How much money do you want to spend? How much money do you need to make? Where's the business going to be geographically? How are you at managing people? How are you at sales? What types of businesses are interesting to you? What industries are good? Does it need to be a business that is glamorous, or can it be a dirty job? What kind of employees do you want to manage? Do you want to manage blue collar employees, white collar employees? There's just so many factors, right? And so the best thing that you can do is find a professional, someone like myself, who can sit down with you and help you answer those questions so that you have a pathway to know what you're trying to find. Can you explain the typical process involved in purchasing a franchise? Sure. So the process is complicated but simple. We really break it down into four main parts. The first part is you. That's everything about you. What's important to you? What do you need to make? What do you want to get out of this? Where's the business going to be? Those type of things, right? It gives me a chance to create a framework, if you will, so that I know more specifically what we're looking for. Because there's about 6,000 franchises out there. How many are you going to buy? Most people are going to buy one, right? So once I know what we're looking for and I create that framework, then I can go find businesses that can do those things for you. That's step number 2, right? And then you have to start an investigative process of learning all about these businesses. What does the business do? Who are the competitors? Who's the executive team? What's their background? what are the earnings opportunities? Building pro formas, for example, building a business plan around that pro forma. Then you got to get involved in the business. That's the third step. People say, I really would love to own a Subway, but then they might go spend a day in a Subway and maybe they don't really like that business, right? And so you have to do that to know what it is that you're getting yourself into. And great franchises, they want their candidates to do that before they buy a business. Then the last step is all the legal financial stuff. Are you financing the business? We can help you with that. Do you want attorneys to review your contracts? We can help you with that as well. Dotting the I's, crossing the T's and whatnot. And that way we can get you started off on the right foot in your journey. So that is the fundamentals of what you need to know. But you also need to know what questions to ask, and we can help you with those things as well along the way. Why should you use a franchise consultant? Well, that's another great question. The answer is because, first of all, it costs you nothing to use us. We look at franchises every single day. Not only just like what they are and what they do, but we analyze them at a very granular level. And so we know what works and what doesn't. We see maybe we've had other clients before that have had similar background and work experience as you, who have had tons of success with a particular franchise, right? So the experience is really what makes the difference. You never want to go into something without having the best team. And the best way you can get the best team is to bring in a consultant that has lots and lots of experience that can help you know like what to watch out for. And that's part of what we do. And, whether you use us or not, the cost is going to be exactly the same. So why not have somebody on your team that's a champion for you that says, this is going to be the best franchise for you, or that can say, you know what, franchising is not right for you and you should not do this. Because if that's the case, then my job is to tell you that as well. But the first step is giving us a call, setting up some time for us to meet where I can ask you some kind of high level questions, and then I can ask you some more specific questions. And from there, we can start that journey together.